man got a plan to go all out. I need a couple M's, I'm trying to win now, I know it ain't no doubt. Lose this down bad, it was hard time trying to get up out that drought. I'm going so hard, I told y'all I don't do this for no clout. We stay hard to win, no other man got a plan to go all out. I need a couple M's, I'm trying to win now, I know it ain't no doubt. Lose this down bad, it was hard time trying to get up out that drought. I'm going so hard, I told y'all I don't do this for no clout.
It's a biblical prophecy that the cream would rise. The black God is in the flesh, they think I got crucified. This shit needs to be studied, looked at and scrutinized. For beef, we fix the shit with our hands before the toolie rise. Yo, who them guys? Yo, I see a bunch of fakes. They don't see they bout to crash out, they need to pump the brakes. Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker, all them niggas want is cakes. No little Uzis bustin' in the street, them niggas want the Drakes. If he a clown, I'ma snatch the nigga mask off. The X6 is chipped with pipes to make it blast off. Big rims bigger than the ones up on the backboard. Big truck series in the park, no fucking RAV4s. Your times is hard, but I had to make a way for myself. There was no mystery guard in the sky, my nigga, I prayed to God and myself. I had to pitch that white ball and run that base, just making place for myself. I was 16 on the Greyhound going northwest, just moving gay for myself. Going on the run with a gun, I was wildin', ready to stick the whole place up. Give me the loot, I was ready to die if a big nigga tried to hold they stuff. My bro gon' pop it just like a rocket, even if it tried to show they bluff. We living real fast on demon time, that's why we had to slow the whole pace up.
Down bad, it was hard time trying to get up out that drought. I'm going so hard, I told y'all I don't do this for no clout. I know some dope artists with heat, but they ain't like me. I'm going up now, low key, but I keep it discreet. I'm getting no breeze, no stopping, making no positives. Keep the bad, no dropping, do the dash so fast. Just trying to hold last, trying to get more fast.
Maybe they are tapping into something beyond the regular thing. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just using deductive logic.
Well, the reason why I brought that up earlier about when the messenger said that,
yes,
is because at the end of the day, we know that the black man is God, right? You know that the black man is the God, and we're the God of this whole universe.
So the white man's not God.
The white man, he is a God,
Okay.
but he's not the God of righteousness.
Okay.
He's the God of wickedness and evil. Because these are the things that he masters. He masters wickedness and evil. You know what I mean? So he's a master of that.
I can't say no. I can't say no. The evidence that shows.
No, because it's Esau and I forgot. It's two brothers, right?
And one of them,
Isaac
and Esau.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Isaac, but
you know, but the thing is, all you gotta do is look at his history. If you take the white man's history and it was a wet rag and you was to wring it out, it would just be blood. You know what I'm saying? Because all through their history is, war, fighting, killing, rape, incest. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's a God, but he's the God of evil and wickedness. So he's not gonna be here forever, right? He's only here for a period of time. But the reason why I said that about the black man being the God of the universe is because it was to show that from the birth of creation, when man first stepped on the scene, he was a supreme being. Meaning that all those things you're talking about with the pyramids and that was light work.
okay.
He had, of course, he was in control of the five senses, but there's other senses too. There's the sense of clairvoyance. There's the sense of intuition. You know, there's the sense of telekinesis. You know, able to move objects without physically putting your hands on it.
Yes.
Now, we hear that and it sounds spaced out, right?
Right.
But, man, and see, this is where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad plays such an important role.
Okay.
And you're right. He is just like all of us. He ain't no different. Because guess what? He came up in the streets just like a nigga. Drunk. The messenger was a drunkard. You know what I mean? Until he, was enlightened. So yeah, he's no different from us in that sense. However, the message that he was given was pretty much the key to unlocking what prophecy is. You understand? Like, in other words, like when we read about the children of Israel in the scriptures and how Moses, the Pharaoh had them in subjection for over 400 years, and they came out of that after 400 years with great sustenance, and but they was in bondage under a strange land amongst a strange people, and these so-called Jews, these that you see walking around here now, these cracker Jews, They trying to act like that's them, but no, that was never you, because it was never. Nowhere in your history were you ever in bondage for 400 years in a strange land among a strange people. That never happened to nobody else. Black Americans are the only ones that fit that description. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad makes prophecy more relatable today to where we can understand it. Just like the story of Jesus. Most Christians in church, they see Jesus, you know, hallelujah, you know, Jesus, he up in the sky, praising to him, and he gonna come back from the dead in 3 days, and you know, do all of this. You know, they don't understand none of the parables. They don't understand none of the similes. They don't understand none of the allegory. You understand what I'm saying? None of the metaphors. Nothing. So this is the reason why the scripture says, how will they know except they have a teacher? And how can they have a teacher except one be sent unto them?
And young Brill, you know what I mean? Yo, give me your understanding on that Willie Lynch letter. What you think about it real quick before you leave?
No idea. I didn't read it.
Oh, you ain't read it yet? Oh, man. I thought the guard read it. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we gonna build on, son. Yo, the song, we gonna get it, you know, everything done. Everything gonna be fire. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We gonna get the video up. You know what I mean? Yo, the God gonna do his thing, man. The young God, man.
Already know.
Proud of him. Proud of him, man.
How old are you?
23.
23. That's
23.
there you go.
23.
23 and strong, man.
23.
Strong.
Yeah.
Solid, young.
Solid.
Yo, he had a good person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I see, man.
Yeah. Hey, definitely, man.
Never
You know what I'm
doubt
saying?
yourself, man.
It's good definitely getting up with the brothers.
Never doubt yourself.
Oh man, Swiss over there reading through that joint. Yo.
Now,
Hey.
I'm going to read it. I'm
Huh?
going to read it next time.
Yeah. Hey, I was gonna let
You
him.
had the two books or just that one? That's the letter?
That was the only letter that I think that I think that he had, you know, on there.
But I forget,
You know what I'm saying?
I had the two, but I had loaned somebody it, man, and that was it. I only have one now, and that's in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard people saying that, you know, just about the whole Willie Lynch thing, that letter, that it wasn't an authentic document. I don't know if y'all heard that before.
Well, it's so authentic to me, you know. They talk about the board stud, and they explain that and where it came from,
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, you know, we can't deny the psychological effects of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's still affecting us
You know?
today, you know. That's why you think that, you know, we can't settle that. You can say, you know,
As the God, you know, leaving or whatever. Yeah, matter of fact, God, you ever heard that being a not an authentic document? The Willie Lynch?
Yeah, I've definitely heard that it's
I'm gonna help my mom with groceries.
that it's not authentic.
Well,
But
yeah, let's
whether
do
it's authentic or not, the concept of it, we see it playing out in real time.
Yeah, the
The
psychological
divisiveness.
effects.
The divisiveness
I
of it, we
had
see
mine
it playing
since
out
17.
as a program in
I
our
drive
people.
forward.
Yeah.
And it's undeniable. Whether the document is true or not, we can see the effects of what the document is talking about alive and well in our people.
Indeed.
And permeating in the behaviorisms of our people. So I'm not really caught up in the authenticity of it. I'm more caught up in the effects of what's actually happening with our people from that document, whether the document was organically made by a white man or not. That's my premise.
What like? I mean, just as far as you know, because again, I heard that it wasn't, you know, an authentic document. But yeah, do you agree that the psychological effects that is talking about, you know, do you see those, a lot of that in our people today?
I agree because I feel like our mentality today, it correlates with the way that we think today. Like you said, so whether it's real or not, it correlates with what's going on today with us as a black race.
Yeah.
You know, with the biases with light skin, dark skin.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of those things you can see playing out. How they put light skin against dark skin, male against female,
Male against female,
old against young,
and even
you
the
know, like,
female against the male via the feminist movement. That dismantled a lot of black families today. You know what I mean?
Before my birthday,
you know,
Yeah.
I agree with him in that aspect.
That's a fact. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of, you know what I
It's a
mean?
long story. It's been time.
Bro, I was gonna ask you real quick just about the psychological effects of slavery. That's what we were just sitting here talking about. Now, Willie Lynch letter, real quick. Just to brief you real quick, because I know you said you didn't read it, but it's just talking about some of the things that was done to us as black people, as far as like some of the methods that was used on the plantation to keep us in line. You know what I mean? So as far as like pitting male against female, or dark skin against light skin, or old against young, you know, just creating those divisions among the people. Do you see that, you know, today, you know, like playing out? Because again, that's what the letter, they're saying the letter is not an authentic document. However, do you see those psychological things happening among people that it's talking about?
I think it's deeper than slavery, but it was the foundation and epitome of, my brain right now, of indoctrination amongst our community and our people. And my Uber is outside. It's a much.
Oh yeah. No doubt. We gonna get up, yo God. We gonna get up. Yeah.
We gonna do this.
Yeah. Peace to the God.
One time.
The young God. Peace.
Love you, Pop.
All right. Love you, son.
Peace. Yeah. But yeah, man. To understand those things too, like in the scriptures, you know, like in the Bible, you know, like I would talk about that too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the effects, psychological effects, the brother over here, he mentioned about in the scriptures how good and pleasant it is.
Psalms 133.
Psalms 133. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of those things we see, a lot of the prophecies and stuff in the scriptures, we see in that. Yeah, it's coming into fruition today. We seeing it.
Through observable reality, we can identify patterns that are congruent with what you see in the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
Patterns. Life is about patterns. It's not about trusting people or things. It's about studying patterns through observable reality, studying material, seeing where the material falls in observable reality, aka real time. Does it align or not? And we can clearly identify that these things are very verifiable, whether the document is true or not.
Indeed.
So I would say that about it.
Yeah.
And look, you know, in recent times, right, I'm going to speak about Trinidad a little bit, right? We had 3 women that was in power holding the highest office. Well, actually 4. We had the president, the prime minister, we had the speaker of the house, and one more, the opposition leader. And you're going back to the letter, it's all
You want
about
something to drink here?
I'm good for
it's all about dehumanizing the black man.
Benjamin
Remember
Franklin, yes, I'm kind of
when they spoke about dehumanizing the black man in front of his children and his wife? You remember when they took the horse and they stretched the bird?
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, that was a strategy.
This member him in front of, you know, his whole family.
To instill fear.
You know,
Right.
They accomplished that. But here's the thing. You know, these people and them, they have done such a, you know, well, you know, if I may, you know, then don't bite off my head for this, but it's such a great job with, you know, separating us.
Yeah.
Separating us. Now, we don't need the white man to kill us anymore. We are quite capable for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we are the only race that, you know, we don't have nothing and we just killing one another. For what reason, man? You know, because the brother buy a little car, you know.
That's a fact. Like I was talking, you were talking about earlier when I was mentioning about, you know, like in Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, the murder rate has reached over 1,000 murders a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
it's not worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse. But the thing is, they said in Trinidad it's like the same, right behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Every day, man. And we have some heinous crimes being committed. You know,
serious murders, just senseless.
Serious murders, man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy when you think about, you know, just the amount of people on those islands. Like Jamaica got what, like about 2-3 million people per, and murders, you know, and they going by capita. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot.
We right up there. We right up there.
You know?
The American government is telling the citizens of this country, don't fly to Trinidad.
Yeah.
But then once again, like I live there, and I don't really see it. I know it's dangerous, but I don't feed into it. I live my life. All over the world have crimes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, God did not give us a spirit of fear. So I'm not going out there to look for any trouble.
Right.
Ain't got the fear, but fear itself.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things, one of the chemicals that the beast learns how to release in the brain, that fear, that chemical fear. I think the thing you played earlier, I think they mentioned something like that, like one of the chemicals and that's released in the brain is they always want to keep you locked into a state of fear or a state of anxiety or just, you know what I'm saying?
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, you're more vulnerable. Exactly when stuff like that happens, like the beast got you in his grips.
Yeah.
He can, you know what I'm saying? He can manipulate you and twist you in any direction he wants to.
And
you know what I mean?
You'll believe anything you hear most of the time because you're vulnerable. So you're not thinking rationally, you know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, throw off the thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime you capture a nation, a people.
You said throw off the thinker?
Throw off the thinking of the people.
Throw off the thinking of the people.
Because naturally people are inquisitive. But we live in a world today where, it's like the gods, I remember they used to say, why is a question asked by the 85%? And I said, nah. my enlightener told me, nah. Why is a question mostly asked by the newborn or by a young developing mind that's trying to learn and develop? You know what I'm saying? Because when was the last time you seen a dumb, deaf, blind person come ask you something about anything? They don't know. They don't care to know. You know what I'm saying?
Some care to know, but they feel like no question is a dumb question to me.
Right,
a lot of times you got grown adults that might feel like a question is a dumb question.
No question is dumb.
If something's taboo, they don't want to touch on it.
Right.
So how you gonna rectify an issue if an issue pops up?
Right. That's the thing.
You know what I mean?
It's like you don't grow. You never grow to be wise and intelligent if you don't be inquisitive. From a baby when you come out your mother's womb, that's the first thing. When you see kids grabbing stuff and they,
Correct.
everything going in their mouth, everything they, what do you think they doing? They trying to, learn and the environment that they're in.
Right.
They're trying to gain information.
Gain data.
You know what I'm saying? That suckling effect that a baby makes when it comes out of the mother's womb and it wants milk. Again, that's information. It's yearning for something. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we was taught too that the woman is like the, like kind of like that God figure when you come out the womb, because that's the only God that you know. Whenever you need food, whenever you need to be changed, whenever you need anything, she's the one who attends to whatever you need. But as life goes on and as you get older, that's like kind of what we was building on earlier when we talked about 40. And I said like spiritual enlightenment or, the highest growth and development a lot of times is at 40. And this is the reason why the white man always snuffs out black leaders and black inspiration in the community when he sees they're nearing that age, 40 years old, that spiritual enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Malcolm, Martin, like I said, all these dudes, wasn't 40. The father. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, can I add on to the 40?
Yes, sir.
I meant to say that. So men normally don't hit their financial stride from 45 to 55 years old.
Wow.
So if you cut them short before 40, they're starting to evolve out of their lower behaviors that would now push them and project them into the higher form of building and building wealth. So if you cut them short, they begin to take life more serious because everything is downhill, like Glenn said, after that 40.
Right.
So you're right at that top of the hill where you're about to start going downhill. If that person really begins to find out who they are and what they need to do, they become very dangerous. You got to cut them.
Yeah.
You got to cut them at 40.
Right.
It's too dangerous to let them continue on.
Right, especially in the spiritual or, that. It makes it understandable why they killed people like Malcolm, Martin, and because if they would have fully developed, if they would have got at 40, 45 years old,
that's dangerous.
Medina Build and Malcolm died the same year.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same year Jim Crow was abolished. Then Malcolm was assassinated 3 years after that.
Yeah.
The Black Panther Party came out the next year when Jim Crow was abolished was 1966 because it was abolished in 1965.
Right.
And then they eventually, COINTELPRO took care of the Black Panther Party by 1982. They just decimated, the whole, that whole Black Party because that's what COINTELPRO was there for. It was created in 1956.
Right.
And they claimed they got rid of him in 1971, but they're still around today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
true indeed.
that's who I feel has something to do with a lot of these black advocates and black political parties that was advocating for affirmative action, fair treatment amongst blacks and whites.
Yeah. I mean, the counterintelligence program, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the white man, he studies scripture too.
Yeah.
You know, he's a student of the scriptures too because he understands prophecy. And he got scientists that work in the Pentagon, work in the government, and they look for stuff like that. You know, because at the end of the day, the white man knows that among our people, black people, it's always because we're from the earth, naturally, we're from this planet, naturally the earth is gonna provide for us. Whatever we, you know what I'm saying, give to the earth is gonna give back. So he knows that if he puts us under a certain condition of struggle and sufferation, guess what? One is going to be born from among us that's going to deal with that pain and suffering and bring us up out of that. He knows that.
He's seeing it in Burkina Faso right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want him dead.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. You're talking about President Ibrahim Traore or whatever for, Burkina Faso. Yeah. Yo, he's like the second coming of Kasra. Abdel Nasser, Muammar Gaddafi.
You just spoke about
Kwame Nkrumah.
You just spoke about Malcolm 39. You just spoke about Martin Luther King 39. Toure is coming up on that, you know.
How old is he? He's like 30.
He's like 36, I think.
He's like, I don't even,
36,
he's like 36 years old.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know he was that old.
Yeah.
I thought he was like 32.
You know, somehow the other, I think, you know, he's not 30. I think he took over the country when he was 36. I think
he might be 38.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I know
he's like, he's in his mid-30s.
But I also think that they had quite a few attempts of assassination.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. I remember one night I was up watching TV and they showed this thing with just assassination attempts, the government, the U.S. government, and they showed like Fidel Castro. Yo, he survived over 600 assassination attempts.
Yeah.
And like, I always heard that before, like, you know, like in the Nation of Islam, I remember hearing a couple ministers talk about that. But I never like looked into to see what the shit was actually, you know what I'm saying?
Due diligence.
But do you realize that he was the only one that the American government never break?
That they tried to break?
They never broke him.
Oh, they never, yeah. I mean, well, shit, not just him. It was others too, but you know, there weren't many. Definitely weren't many.
Here in that country, you know.
Yo, they said
without any assistance from America.
Invincible, man.
Yeah, yo, they said this dude, Fidel Castro. They sent agents in to study his life, how he lived, what he liked to do, what's his hobbies, They knew he liked scuba diving, you know, swimming. They knew he liked, you know, they sent agents down in the area where he likes to go scuba dive, and they put like seashells, fake seashells, but they were explosives down there. So as soon as he swim over there by it, boom, you know, they can kill him. Yo, his suit, they put like a poisonous suit for him to put on. Yo, they tried to poison his food. They tried to send women after him. They tried to, he could not be killed. And then it made me think about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like, no one has escaped more assassination attempts than Fidel Castro and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Western Hemisphere. Because I'm talking about, like when I saw that, I'm like, they would have got me with the, you know what I mean, with the women. Sent two bad chicks. I would have been like, oh, you got me. you know, the average dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? But yeah,
it
you know,
shows you their discipline, man. And
they are super disciplined. Like that's crazy. 600 times they tried to, and we're talking about a powerful government who got resources and shit to get you, and they failed 600 times at doing it. So that goes to that Psalms now, going back to the scriptures, when David says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Like, just imagine what type of science you got to know to say something like that. You know, the one of them used to say, Wobia. But no wicked business. This is righteousness.
Yeah, when I look at the African president now, I can see in David, man, King David.
Yeah.
Great ruler, man. Great ruler. David was loved by his people.
Yeah. That's a fact.
David was a man, he knew how to cry out to God in spite of all of his, sinful ways. He was a man that was very humble and, he always repented.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Yeah, sincerely.
Yeah.
Came from his heart.
Yeah.
And he found favor with God. As a result of that.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day, I mean, it definitely takes, strength, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, discipline. That's the most important thing, because the devil, the beast, plays off of your lack in discipline. The beast plays off that. He'll study your lifestyle and see what you like, what interests you, and then he'll send that after you.
Yes, as I so told you earlier before, I have seen these things really manifested in my personal life, coming from the background I came from, and it's constant struggle to fight to do the right thing. And it's very hard, very difficult. There's always some things, some demon coming after you.
Yeah.
In some shape or form.
That's why we have to stay prayed up.
Yeah. As conscious brothers over here in the Western Hemisphere, I know the brothers used to say, stay prayed up, but also even more over than that, stay studied up. Stay studied up, because of course you got to study the times and the what's going on in the world.
You gotta adjust.
You know what I'm saying?
You see, as the word say, greater is he that is in me than he that is
In
in
the
this
world. Right.
So, we have to be very careful with the worldly things, and as you see today, especially with our people, how we have gravitated to the material things of this world, and we equate success to having these tangible things, and you and I know this, all that we are seeing is just an illusion. Everything around us.
Yeah. The scriptures teach us that.
Falls under vanity.
Vanity.
Vain.
Say that again?
Vanity.
Vanity.
Covetousness.
Because the Bible tells us, perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth. So
don't put your trust in vanity.
Godliness.
Don't put your trust in nobody.
They think that, this material things.
Being materialistic and shallow.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta be careful with these things. I mean, Alexander the Great explained it best. Alexander the Great was one of the most powerful rulers in this world.
People are so shallow nowadays, they don't even pride themselves in character anymore.
Amen to that.
So it's like everything is just superficial.
And see that word that you use is such a beautiful word.
You know what I mean?
Character.
And
superficial.
they overlook character because they put more focus on aesthetics.
Yeah.
If the character's not parallel to the aesthetics, then at that point, if I gotta make a sacrifice, I'll choose character over aesthetics all day, any day. Now, if the aesthetics is parallel to it, then okay, it's a bonus. It's your preference, but
Just remember what Malcolm X said. He said you give a man power and he would learn of his character. So we have to be very careful with these things. A lot of people, they think that the material things of this world is what, they somehow or the other gravitate to these things. But this, as I said before, it's just a illusion.
It's the law. It makes it look good and make it look good.
Yeah, in the Qur'an it says, be not dismayed by this world of illusions. Call this world a world of illusory. It's just, what you think you seeing is not really what it is. But yeah, man, I'm building with the gods, man. Say peace to the family. You know what I'm saying? Peace. Yeah, when I come to Trinidad, I'm going to come check out my brother in Trinidad. Come out there and come visit you,
Listen, one thing I know, people come to Trinidad. The white man comes to Trinidad. He goes to the worst part of Trinidad and nobody does anything. He comes there without money and they feed him. You know,
Yeah.
they provide place for him to sleep and all. So it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, everything has it, you know, it's season and it's people and it's a reason why you see all these things happening.
Indeed.
You know, if you are not connected into, you know, certain activities, you will be alright. It's simple as that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I have no fear for my
Yo.
country. I love my country. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay prayed up, stay studied up, man. That's all it is.
That's all it is, brother.
So with that, I'm gonna say peace to the gods.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, yeah.